Hello and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I would like to welcome you to our home this evening where we're going to have a little fun making your own homemade seed tape. Yes, it is not hard to make, just takes a little time. And first we start in the kitchen, then we'll go into the living room to have the fun. First, you need to make your all natural glue. I like to use cornstarch and water to make a paste that will cause the seed to stick. It does not hurt the seed after you plant it. It will biodegrade, so will the toilet paper. So with that being said, let's start making our paste and then we'll get to having some fun, y'all. Okay, in my pan here, I have 1 cup of water. You don't need a whole lot of ingredients at all, just two. 1 cup of water, and I'm using all natural organic cornstarch. Some people use flour. I prefer the cornstarch method. 1 tablespoon, round one. And you want to whisk this around real good. You want to bring it up to a simmer. And once it comes up to a simmer and starts thickening up, that's what you're going to be looking for. Alright, once it's thickened up, you'll want to keep stirring and keeping an eye on it because it won't take long, this small amount. And I'll bring you back as soon as it's done. Alright, in about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, it is done. And it's going to thicken up a little bit more as it cools. Now I'm going to set this here. You want to let this completely come to room temperature. That way you won't harm your seed or yourself because this is hot. And I will bring you back. Once this is cooled down, you'll need a pair of scissors, a cheap roll of toilet paper, depending on how many seed tapes you're making, measuring tape, and a table to work on. Now you need to choose if you want to use a paintbrush or a chopstick. You can dip a chopstick in to make your dot, or a Q-tip. I'm going to be using a small paintbrush. So I'll bring you back. We'll be in the living room once this cools down. See y'all after a while. Okay, time to have some fun. Now, don't use paper towels because they are, to me, too thick for this. You want to use cheap toilet paper, especially toilet paper that does not have this lotion, whatever that crap is in it, just plain, cheap toilet paper. What you're going to want to do is have a good pair of scissors. Let me go and get this. Now, you're going to want a large bowl. So as you make the strips, you can just let it slide off the table into the bowl. You can put that on the floor. That way the seed tape doesn't get contaminated. Make sure your work surface is good and clean. Now, the best of your ability, it don't have to be perfectly straight, y'all. But you want to try at least to keep it in the middle. Because we're going to end up folding it over. Alright, I'm going to keep cutting this strip. You can make your seed tapes as short or as long as you want to. I'm going to make these longer because, well, these are going in the garden. So I want them long and thin. That's why I cut it down the middle. Alright, I will bring y'all right back here in a bit. Okay, now it's time to have some fun. Now, another thing I forgot to mention. You want to use single ply toilet paper. Don't use double ply because it'll be too thick. Now, as your gel is cooling down, you want to put some saran wrap on top to keep it from drying out. Now, it's going to make a film on top. Don't worry, nothing's wrong with it. That's just natural. So, let's make sure you have some kind of lid to put your seeds in. Let's read about these seeds. Alright, now, you want to follow the directions on the packet. It says to plant them a half an inch deep. That's how deep you plant the seed tape. This is what the finished seed tape is going to look like. And you will put a half an inch of soil on top, or give or take some, on top of your seed tape. And that is how this works. Now, I always go just a little bit over the mark. That way you got a little wiggle room. So, now, this says a half an inch deep. So you're going to want to plant this whole tape down your row. Now, if you want to make it easier on yourself, if you're planting in a row, in ground, or a raised bed, figure out how long you need your seed tape. And then you can do that route. Now, I can't walk a straight line if my life depended on it, and I can't cut a straight line if my life depended on it. So guess what, y'all? World's not coming to an end. I got my fan on, so everything's trying to wiggle. Now, go ahead, make it easy on yourself, and your strips, fold them in half. That way you can see where you need to put your seed, because this side is going to go on top once you get this side, this length of strip done. Now, it says to thin, and I love these directions, thin to 4 to 8 inches. Okay, 4 to 8 inches. I'm going to plant the seeds. Well, put the seeds every 6 inches. I'm fixing to have to find me something heavier. Hold on a minute. Okay, I found a rock. Now, you don't have to be perfect, y'all. Alright, so I've decided I'm going to do every 6 inches I want a seed. Because it says thin to 4 to 8 inches. Now, if you want to, I don't like wasting seeds. I don't like to thin seeds. I really don't. Because to me, that's a waste of a seed. Now, if you let the seedling get big enough to where, oh, some pretty seeds. Now, if you let the seedling get big enough and you know it's safe to eat it, then I can throw it in a salad. Alright, now, I've got it from 0 to 24. So, I start one seed at the 0 mark. But you want to make sure you got a little leeway. And you just dip You paintbrush in the cornstarch goo. Come on. You don't want a great big dot. Grab one seed and plop it on there. There we go. Now we're going to see where the 6-inch mark is, and it's right here. Drop a dot. Pick up a seed. Oh, great. Now, I only do this for tiny seeds when I feel like making the dot. So, the tape, 0, 6 inches, we're going to go to 12. This is perfect for tiny, tiny seeds, like these kohlrabi, for carrots, head lettuce, and, little stuff. Radishes, you can pretty much see them. Okay, that was 12. We're going to go to 18. Now, don't worry, it does not have to be perfect, y'all. Do not just go hog wild. But if you want to, you can do it to where you have extra on the tape. And I'm going to the 24 mark, 24-inch mark. And then that way, if you just want to thin out, you can. Alright. And you just very carefully dot them. And we're going to slide it. I think what I'm going to do so that it'll stay closed better. Go through. And that way it'll lay better when you go to plant it. You don't have to, but it will help. Especially if you're trying to plant on a windy day. And this way they'll lay closed. And like I said, this is perfect for the kohlrabi seeds, collard seeds, cilantro seeds, beets, cabbage, your tiny seeds. And since that's not gonna, let me make double sure. You don't want to use too much, because then they'll all stick to one another. And have fun, y'all. This is all about having fun. Don't be too tedious about it. But this is perfect, especially if you want to get your carrots lined up And what you'll do is just slide it, because it's not going to come open. It's. You ever seen wet toilet paper? Yeah. Now, one thing to remember is let this go down, and there is your 6-inch mark. And then I will fold these over. Like I said, you don't have to be absolutely perfect. Mine's not going to be perfect because there was no straight cutting happening here. This just going on folding it over helps show you where your dot needs to go. And like I said, this one, start at 0, start at the 6, slide it on, stop it at the 0 mark. And that way you keep your perpetual measurements. Now, like I said, I wouldn't do big seeds because they're going to be too heavy for the toilet paper, and it'd be a good chance your seed tape will rip because of the weight. And like I said, start at the 0 mark. And have fun. Have you a cup of coffee, glass of tea, and just have fun. Zero, 6, I'm going for 12. Like I said, I'm doing them every 6 inches. Well, there it is. And don't worry, once it gets into this uh, paste, it's not going anywhere. It's trapped. Like quicksand for seeds. Now, if you have trouble, what I do is mash down on. Well, usually it works. Mash down on the seed, or just pinch it up. Or if you're very careful, you can use tweezers. Okay, and this is the 24 mark. Now, of course, like I said, it is up to you. If you want to space it so you thin them out, you can do that. Make sure they get good contact. And this is just so that they will lay flat. You can see where the seeds are. It's not hard to do. Now, if you don't want to do this with vegetables, you can do it with flower seeds too. Any seeds that are extremely thin or small. Now, you'll just keep on working. And like I said, where you see your last seed, and I have them falling into the bowl down here. I'll start it at 6 inches. I didn't measure. Start your last seed at the 0 mark. All right, 0, 6 inches. Slide, 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 slide. At 0, stop. Open up. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually relaxing. Just make sure you just use plain Jane toilet paper. Nothing fancy, no 2-ply, just single ply. And my measuring tape is trying to escape. Alright, I'm going to keep going. And like I said, I have them going into that big bowl so they don't touch the floor, or that way no dirt or anything gets nasty gets on them. Alright, I got 2 strips to do. I'm about halfway done with this strip, and I will bring y'all back. Okay, I have come to the end of this tape. Now, here's the 12-inch mark. Here's the 18-inch mark. I'm not going to put a seed at the end of this tape, because that way you can tell where the seeds are on the tape. This way, with the little extra edge that's on the beginning of the tape, you can add it right here when you're planting. Not now, but when you're planting. And then that's where your next seed will start, and you'll keep your measurements as fairly accurate as possible. Nothing's perfect in nature, nothing's perfect in our lives, so don't try to overthink it. Main thing is you want to make sure that little seed is encapsulated in that goo and toilet paper. That way your seed doesn't take a chance of rolling out. Sometimes if it still wants to pucker, just add a little goo. Because on a windy day, these being flat make a big difference. Okay, I'm done for this one. Cover up your goo, glue, goo, whichever one you want to call it. Now, what you're going to want to do is put these somewhere that they can dry. runaway seed. And you can make your tape, seed tape, as long as you want, as short as you want. Now, that I have it up here, now I'm going to tell you, if two seeds happen to fall in one spot, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. If two seeds germinate, just pluck the strongest one with little scissors. It'll be fine. The world's not coming to an end. Now, once these dry, you got to let them dry before you package them up. You can fold them like this, which would be a whole lot easier, or if you just gotta, you can roll them. I would fold them, but you have to make sure they're completely dry, or yeah, they will stick to one another, and your whole seed tape is just going to be messed all up. Now, you want to either store these once they're dry. Once you fold them up, you want to either store them in freezer Ziploc bags. You could vacuum seal them if you want to, or you can store them in glass jars. Or if you're not making that many, medicine bottles that's been washed out very well. It's not, you store them however you want. These I'm going to be planting and either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. It depends on the weather. If you wanted to during the winter, you could make these up, let them dry, and store them up. It'll give you something to do during the winter. Make this fun. Don't make this tedious. Don't get upset if it's not perfect. Nothing in this world is perfect. It's not supposed to be. Have fun. Make you a coffee or tea, or get you a soda, maybe some snacks. You could put on some music. Enjoy yourself. Make this fun. Oh, and another thing. When these are dry and you fold them up, I'm going to put these down here in the bowl. When you fold them up, store them labeled. Make sure you label. You can write on the seed tapes, or you can write on the baggies. And that way you know exactly what's on the seeds are on that tape. Like I said, this is kohlrabi. You can do it for cilantro, carrots, all your small seeds that are a pain to plant. You do carrots. If your goal is to finally have perfectly aligned carrots, this is one for you. Head lettuce, leaf lettuce. If you wanted to do turnips this way, you can, because the toilet paper is going to biodegrade. The cornstarch paste is not going to hurt them at all. Now, let's talk about this. Once you get done, take your paintbrush out, or if you're using a Q-tip, throw it away. You could use the bottom of a chopstick. That would work good to make a perfect dot. Put the saran wrap around this really good. Store it in your fridge. when you go to make more seed tapes. Let this set out until it comes to room temperature, because if you try to use it cold, you'll shock your seed stock. Sorry, y'all. I just realized I had the air conditioner on. Lord, I hope y'all could hear me. But yeah, beets, your small seeds. Do not do this for large seeds. Those are too easy to hand plant. But simple, easy. If I can do this, you can do this too. Have fun. Don't make it drudgery. Um, so many things you can do with this. Flowers, your vegetables, as long as it's the small seeds, and just follow the package direction, the seed pack directions. Lord, I can't talk. Uh, the final, what it says for the final thinning, how far it's supposed to be, not the beginning of planting the seeds, but how far you're supposed to, sorry y'all, thin the plants. Simple, easy. You can do this. This will save time. It does make it faster. Now follow directions on how deep. If it says 1/4 inch, lay your tape down and scoot 1/4 inch of soil on top. 1/2 inch, do 1/2 inch, so on. Follow those directions on the packet. And the main thing is, above all else, have fun, give thanks, pray over your seeds as you do it if you feel drawn to do so. Another thing to take into consideration, not every seed germinates, y'all. It's not the end of the world. There are bad seed stock out there. Believe me, I know all too well that these companies know that they're selling bad stock, and they do it anyway. So if one doesn't come up where it's supposed to, drop a seed. Just put your finger in the dirt, however deep it's supposed to be, drop a seed. It'll be a late start for that guy, but give him a chance. Simple, easy, homemade, and you can do this. It's not hard to do, and it's fun, y'all. As long as you pay attention, it could be meditative. It's peaceful. Drop those seeds, plant as much as you can, and save as many seeds as you can from your plants for next year. I hope this video encourages you to do your own seed tapes. It's not hard, y'all. Have fun. Follow the basic directions. You got this. Alright, everyone, continue to stock up your pantries with foods that will nourish and sustain you. Medicinals that will heal you. You can do this seed tape with herbs as well. Protection of all kinds, and above all else, the bare essentials to survive on. Everyone, y'all take care. Have a blessed day. Give thanks for all that you have. Love y'all dearly. Hoot, hoot. Mwah. And I will see y'all soon. Y'all take care.